Have you been wondering why your emotions are all over the place and who is actually running your life? Perhaps you've been wondering when the pain will stop, or maybe why you're reacting so out of character. And my question to you is, what wounds are running your life? When relationships break down, it isn't a pleasant experience, full stop. It's the ending of something that, unless the two people involved came to that same decision, one of those people is coming from a place of not necessarily wanting that relationship to end. When a relationship ends and you're not expecting it, it can take you out of your comfort zone. But when you've been in an abusive relationship, this isn't about just getting to the same place as your partner. These are completely poles apart. And then you wake up and realise that maybe this isn't a relationship that you thought you had. Maybe they aren't the person that you thought they were. Welcome to the Divorce Sanctuary. I'm Elizabeth, author of Finding Lily and the A to Z of Emotional Abuse. And on this channel, I talk about healing from emotional abuse and divorcing emotionally from the abuser. Divorcing emotionally is life-changing. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're returning, welcome back and thank you so much. Anything that I describe in the video, I will put in the description box below. And if you have any comments, please share them. Your experience might help somebody else on their journey. Have you been wondering why your emotions are all over the place and who is actually running your life? Perhaps you're wondering when the pain will stop, or why you're reacting so out of character. My question to you is, what wounds are running your life? This week, I've been running my 3-day challenge, The Passionate Pursuit of Transformation. And I talk a lot about wounds. Coming out of these relationships isn't pleasant. If you're divorcing from a healthy person, you wouldn't be searching for answers. Relationships break down for so many different reasons. It can be that people have affairs. A lot can be down to money. Children put a lot of pressure and stress on a relationship. It might be that one person's life changes. It might be the death of a family member, or it might just be that people grow apart. But with an emotionally abusive person, it's very different. From the moment the couple came together, there was a connection made, and that connection was a fake one. It wasn't created mutually, it was manipulated. And when the real victim noticed something was wrong or raised an issue, they were told, they were gaslit, that they'd misunderstood a situation, or that their feeling was wrong, or that the abuser was very sorry, they would never do it again, it wasn't their intention to hurt them, and they repeated it, or they hid their behaviour. And like that mark on a carpet, you start to get used to it, and over time you don't see it. The relationship was a false representation of something manufactured, duplicated over time. The abusers, the emotional abusers, whether you label them as a narcissist, sociopath, psychopath, personally, I don't like using labels. They won't take responsibility for their actions. They're not going to go and get a diagnosis. You can get caught up in that loop of trying to find out what was actually going on. Their relationships are recreated. They move on from one person to another. They've learnt from one relationship, and what they take that knowledge into the next one. But they are duplications. They notice the things that don't work and they change them. Your relationship was a version of a previous relationship. It might have been version 6 or version 8, like the Dyson. And they might have found someone who can provide them with more money or a better home. They might be just using the next relationship as a stepping stone or a resting place until they've secured their next upgrade. They know enough about you to use this to trigger you, to use it against you. They want to see you broken. They don't want you to move on. They want to keep you trapped. And I was going to do this video on closure because some of the things that were coming up and I was talking about were, and I think it might be in my podcast this week, were an emotionally healthy or relatively emotionally healthy person does not want you following them round. They want a clean break. They want you to have all the information about why the relationship has broken down, why they need to move on. They don't need you hovering around like a shadow in the background, trying to understand or trying to understand what happened. They want you to move on. And that doesn't happen in emotionally abusive relationships. You are an object. That's how you were seen. And you still hold something for them. If you're in pain, they still get supply from you. They can hear the damage they've caused you. They know what buttons to push to get that. Now, part of you might be fact-finding. You're on a mission to find out what happened. Are you keeping yourself trapped and not allowing the closure? What information do you need to get closure? Because that's the only way you're going to do it, is to see the abuse for what it is. So I then ask you, what wounds are holding you back? During the idealization stage, they were on their own fact-finding mission. They were twirling you around a dance floor around the cycle of abuse. And that was really to see how far they could take you before you said no. And each time they reached that limit, they pushed you a little bit further. And just like that stain on the carpet, one day you walk over it, not realizing it's there. Your boundaries were crushed. And you wake up one day, it's all over. The fairy tale romance is ended. The castle has crumbled. And it might be that you ran out of something, money, attention, supply for them. You're probably walking around with so many wounds, waiting for them to come back, because that's what they've always done. Each time they took you to this point, they came back. Only this time it's different. This was the final discard. They've moved on. But you're still left there waiting for closure, which you're not going to get. And because of the cycle of abuse, and they've always come back, your body knows the next thing that it's going to get is a boost of oxytocin. You might be over the relationship, but however your body isn't, it's still there waiting, anticipating, waiting for them to walk through the door. Grounding, breathing, creating safe spaces and honest conversations will help you. The trauma you experience needs to have a finality. It needs an ending. It's looping around. It doesn't realise this is all over. Your life might be on hold. You might be sitting there waiting by the phone, waiting for them to reach out to you. And perhaps you start to realise that they aren't coming back. And this might trigger lots of different wounds. It might be one of injustice. And like other wounds, this creates an emotional reaction within you. The wound of injustice is likely to originate from a mother wounding if you were female and a father wound if you are male. And if you followed any of my work, you will have heard me talk about the original wounds. I believe these relationships happen, these emotionally abusive relationships happen because of the modelling that we see in childhood. I believe these relationships are our biggest guides. They will help us repair and reparent ourselves if we allow that to happen. The wound of injustice starts to raise in you. You're watching the abuser looking like they're living their best life. And you might feel the injustice of this. How can this be fair? You gave up everything. You put your life on hold. You put your hopes and your dreams on hold to help them fulfill theirs. And when you have nothing left, they just replace you. Where is the justice in this? And as if it couldn't get any worse, you hear about the smear campaign. And this very probably started before the ending of the relationship. This feeling of injustice originates from the child not being allowed to be themselves or to express themselves in their own unique way as an individual, not recognised or appreciated for their unique value that they bring into this world. The child grows up to believe that people appreciate them not for who they are, but for what they will do for them. And if your wound of injustice has been triggered, it is likely that you will seek justice on what seems right for you. The wounding might appear as perfectionism, and you aim for the best, the right, the correct way of doing something. You might appear as controlling, yet deep down, far from wanting to control others, you want to make sure it's fair for everybody. Are wounds running your life? Don't give the abuser ammunition. Remember, they've told everyone that you're crazy. They set this smear campaign up to get out of this relationship that up until a few months before it ended, they were telling everyone how perfect you were together. They've been telling everyone how crazy you are, and they will try and provoke you to do anything and react in a way that proves you are crazy. Who you be? Who really are you? Stay focused on your goals and heal your wounds. And you can use this process of a way of healing, a way of understanding the ways that you've been trapped. They will make up stories about you. They will claim what they did to you is actually what you did to them. When that happens, your first instinct is to tell the world of the injustice of it all. Stop and ask what it is that's actually triggering you. What have they said or done that is making you feel this way? And ask yourself, what is it that you are feeling? Just like you would use a tourniquet to stop poison entering into your body or stopping blood from flowing from a wound, you need to do this to the emotional abuser. If you're preparing for divorce, could these wounds be running that? Understand what you really want from that process. Is it money? Is it items? Is it justice? Perhaps you're looking for closure. Be careful who you surround yourself with. Friends and family will want the best for you, but they might not understand the damage the abuser has caused. Make sure that you are taking positive steps to heal your wounds. Constantly talking about what happened can cause you to stay trapped. Take action. If you confide in friends and family, ask them to keep you accountable with your thinking and your actions. And beware of the vultures who at first seem really kind and fluffy and warm. They want to help fix you. They're happy to listen to all of your problems. And you might realise over time the advice that they give you may be in exchange for constant praise and attention that they get from you, and that they aren't actually invested in you as you believe they were. As you start to recover, they might challenge you. They actually don't want you to recover. They want you to stay trapped. In the beginning, you will need to talk. Nothing makes sense. You're so confused. You might be experiencing symptoms of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Once your body's started to calm down, you can go deeper. Look at healing those wounds. Find a tribe. You do need help. Understanding this is not your fault. And if you can, find a professional who will help you with the recovery. Find people who understand what you've been through and who are going to want to help you heal and grow. Whatever you do, don't bury your emotions and ignore them. They could erupt at the wrong time, at the wrong place, causing all kinds of unexpected consequences. Take a deep breath. What wounds are coming up for you? What wounds are running your life? If you need help talking to your wounds, then please do reach out. I can help you. You can join me over on Facebook in the Divorce Sanctuary, where we talk divorce as well as divorcing emotionally from the abuser. I will put my workbook, The Essential Criteria for Creating a Perfect Healing Plan, and a few other links below. Also, how to join another community, the Rise and Thrive Tribe, which is launching soon. I'm sending you loads and loads of love. Until next time.